Welcome to the second episode of Supercoach Jords Way. So this is how I play Supercoach, and for this episode we discuss the Supercoach season timeline. So basically I'll discuss what I do in the phases of the year, and I'll go over those phases. So first up we have preseason, most fun part, researching and stuff. The early rounds, upgrade season, bye rounds. There's overlap in upgrade season and the bye rounds, finalising the team, and also the home stretch. So without further ado, we are straight into it. And yeah, so preseason. We have Patrick Dangerfield in the preseason. Sorry about that picture, but just put it in anyway. So what do we do now? So basically we research our premiums and rookies. So with the premiums, try and narrow down the options, and with the rookies, I would research every single rookie just because they're named in round one. I wouldn't throw them in. Make sure I have a good understanding. If you're a casual, maybe just copy somebody. But for me, who takes Supercoach far too seriously, I need a good read on the rookies. Assess if your collective risk is too high. If you have Zach Williams in your defence, Josh Kelly and Nat Fyfe in your midfield, it's too much risk. They have durability issues. You certainly wouldn't want them to get injured at the same time, and you don't even need to take. I don't think you necessarily need to take any risks in your starting team. Maybe a little bit's okay, but yeah, too much is definitely not good. Don't want to ruin your season before in round one, basically. You don't want to make too many changes to your team. If you understand which premiums you kind of want and they've been in your team a while, the preseason games come along, players start dominating, you've taken out 5 players you really liked in your team, it's probably not going to end too well. So you probably don't need to make too many changes as the preseason progresses. And just before the start of the season, be prepared to make minor structure changes. So maybe you have to cut a premium to a mid-pricer, and then start upgrading rookies everywhere because we have a severe rookie deficit. Ideally, that's not a situation you want to be in. But yeah, maybe there's no rookies in defence, you have to add another premium there. So be prepared to make minor changes. So yeah. So that's preseason. In the early rounds, rounds 1 to 6. So it doesn't have to be round 6. I've got approximately round 6. So just for argument's sake, to make things easier, 1 to 6. Holding your trades is definitely the most important thing during this time. Save as many as possible in this time. So I have 4 to 8 written here. If you've saved 8, you are unbelievable. I've never gotten near that. I think the most I've saved is 4 or 5. But ideally, yeah, 4 to 8 trades you want to save, probably more than 4. But nonetheless, these trades are helpful later in the year, and they will help determine whether you can finish a team. So the second point I have here is assessing potential busts and rookie corrections. So if rookies aren't going to be named for a while, we probably need to trade them out. And if there's a good rookie on the horizon, bring them straight in. But assessing potential busts of your picks, if you've picked a player and they haven't got the role you thought they were going to get, it should be okay to trade them out. They always might go back to that role, but it's better to not let them bleed cash at times, and not take the chance, especially if there's a good option available. But yeah, you got to be disciplined, think logically before sideways trading. So for example, if Lachie Neale scored 80 and 90 in the first 2 rounds, even though he's going to drop a lot of money, you might be thinking, oh, maybe Lachie Neale's not that good anymore. Look, he's Lachie Neale, he's probably going to drop a 150 if you trade him out. So think carefully. Why are you trading him out? You've put a lot of effort into preseason research. Are you going to throw it out the window based on 2 games? Really assess the situation. You can jump on a must-have if it suits. So for example, in 2020, Christian Petrarca was getting all the mid-minutes in the world and all the preseason hype he was living up to. So that it looked like that pick was going to be a good pick because the role was there and the talent was there. So jump on him if it suits. If you have to trade out a really good player, then it depends on the situation, but ideally you don't want to trade out a good premium. Probably you really don't want to trade out a good premium, but if you have a bad premium, then I guess it can work out. And yeah, assess potential upgrade targets. So for example, if Bontempelli's been tagged the first few games, Tom Mitchell's had a slow start, target these guys, try and get them in early. Upgrade season. So this is a fun part of the season where I think you just should use as many trades as you can. This is what trades are for, upgrading. So just keep using 2 every week. And then buy planning. If you have, speaks for itself really. If you have too many premiums in the round 12 buy, say you have 8 premiums, don't bring in another, pretty simple. And also figure out which rookies you want to hold. For example, if you have a rookie that's got really good job security, scoring well, probably picked out in price though, but he's playing over the bye rounds, you can, and the last bye round is when he has his bye, you can hold him. A bit like Sam Walsh a few years ago, where he had the last bye and you could have held him even though he lost a bit of money. Short-term injuries, I think what happens here is I think you need to hold your short-term injuries, because if you're trading out an injured player that's going to be back in a few weeks anyway, but you've also used that trade was going to be used on an upgrade, so that means that in 2 weeks you'll actually be behind because you have that player back and you're behind on the upgrade, if that makes sense. So for that reason, hold short-term injuries. If you have no cover, then you probably have to trade them, but that's just how it is. Understand whether you're forced to trade in a cheaper option to complete the team. Simple. If you've used way too many trades early, you've saved next to no trades, I wouldn't be trading in Lockie Neal for 700k. You don't have that luxury. So buy rounds. So these are rounds 12 to 14. I have a picture of Young Yeezy's album Let's Get It, and I don't know if it's a good album. It looks pretty cool though. But the reason why I have this picture is because the buy rounds, people hate the buy rounds. This is an opportunity to go up in the rank. I always go up in the ranks in the buy rounds because I plan far ahead really. Not too far ahead, maybe from round 6 or 7 onwards. But yeah, I really make sure I nail the buy rounds, make sure I'm not in trouble. It's simple, it's an opportunity to go up in the ranks, so yeah, I wouldn't see it as a bad thing. But yeah, plan for in advance, don't start planning in round 11, plan 6 weeks before. You don't always need to use all your trades in the buy rounds, especially if you've over-prepared, which I don't think is a bad thing. Just because you have 3 trades a week here doesn't mean you use all of them. And yeah, if you have excess trades, you can sideways a premium with the buy. So not in the first buy round, that wouldn't make any sense. But in the second and third buy rounds, you can trade out, trade out a premium, even though there might be a decent premium. This is something that if you do, that if you're high in the ranks, just to try and get any advantage where you can, if you've saved trades. But yeah, I think it's okay, but you just got to be careful who you trade out and trade in. And take a donut if you think the using a single trade isn't worth it. So I used to be against, I would be like, no, I'm not taking a donut under any costs, under any circumstances. And then one round I did it and all I got was a 25 from a rookie, and I thought, well, that was a waste of time. So if you're only using it to cover a rookie score, a rookie for a rookie, probably don't need it. It's kind of a roll of the dice, and trades are probably worth more than 50 points. So, well, they are worth more than that, so that's okay. So finishing the team. So yeah, once you're finishing the team, you can consider fixtures form of trade-in targets. So this is something that you probably don't consider as much early in the year. And you can also trade in riskier picks. So for example, classic Josh Kelly, Tom Rockcliffe. Yeah, you can't start the year with Tom Rockcliffe, for example. So yeah, maybe a player's made a move to the midfield or something. So keep an eye out on players' form, and yeah, just something to just really need to look at in the Supercoach tab, the past 5 games tab, stuff like that. Look at reports of centre-bounce attendances, stuff like that. And you also may need to keep a rookie or trade in a discounted option as cover, or you may be able to do that. So maybe you find a 300k mid forward who's dropped a lot, maybe he was injured, and you can just sideways a rookie there, keep him on your bench. This is a luxury. Usually what ends up happening is when I'm finishing the team, I'll keep a rookie on each line. Yeah, if I do have that luxury, but yeah, if you can get a mid-price or a premium as cover, fantastic. Ideally dual position. And finally, we have the home stretch. So this is where your team should be full premium. If not, that's unfortunate, but ideally you have full premium. Ideally have 2 or 3 insurance trades for injuries, or maybe a player's had a role change, for example. I remember Toby McLean a few years ago. I think he hurt his shoulder or something. It was averaging almost 110 halfway through the season. Second half, playing a little bit injured, they moved him forward, but didn't have the trades to trade him out. So if that sort of happens, yeah, ideally you trade him out. And yeah, trade out underperformers. So maybe you started with a premium earlier in the year, you started him, and he's only averaging 90 or 95 in the midfield when you thought he was going to go 110. But he's been durable, so you just hold him and you trade him out later. There's not much use trading him early when you probably think he's going to come good. So that's it for the video. That is the Supercoach timeline. I think I talked a little fast. But that's fine. Hope you found it interesting, and if not, sorry about that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.